we're now dealing with high school students who've been studying longer and are wiser than they were before. So we're going to have some good competition.
Yeah, we saw them cramming for this, earlier during the other two competitions that we had.
The one thing we want to mention, though, is for those of you in the audience, certainly play along to yourself, but don't mouth any words or do anything that would help any of the members of either team, because they have been studying hard and this is really serious competition.
Okay, and we've got two teams here. We have Onstead, we have Sand Creek, and as we did in the prior two competitions, we want to give each team's players a chance to introduce themselves to you and to tell you what they're most looking forward to about going back to school this fall.
Speak right into the microphone.
So we'll start on my right and your left with Sand Creek.
I am Garrett Pittsnell, and I'm looking forward to marching bands.
I'm Travis. I'm looking forward to sports.
I'm Spencer Stevens. I'm looking forward to graduating.
I'm Matt. Same.
I'm Luke Wheeler, and I am looking forward to band.
All right, Sand Creek. And on my left, your right, Onstead, same drill.
I'm Gage, and I'm most looking forward to AP US History.
I'm Austin, and I'm most looking forward to seeing my guidance counselor, Dan Scholes, again.
I'm Maddie, and I'm most looking forward to AP Chem.
I'm Cameron, and I'm looking forward to being a senior.
I'm Jarrett, and I'm most looking forward to football games.
All right, Onstead, everyone. Yeah. And for both teams, when you answer, really use the microphone so we can all hear what you're saying.
And those of you out in the audience, really cheer on your favorite team, because that gives them a lot of encouragement.
And I believe we're ready to begin. And Doug, you have the first question.
This is our toss-up, right?
That is correct.
All right, toss-up question. Every ship in the U.S. Navy made prior to the War of 1812 had passed on its name to later Navy vessels, with the exception of one. Give us the formal name of the 40-gun ship, which never passed on its name because the original ship is still in commission.
And Sand Creek.
USS Constitution.
That is correct.
Bonus question now for Sand Creek. Name the physician who is responsible for inducing sleep in a patient before surgery.
Anesthesiologist.
That also is correct.
An intrepid cyclist starts his trek from the northern border of Utah and heads due north to Canada. What is the fewest number of states he could cross to reach his destination?
Sand Creek.
2.
2 is correct.
Bonus question now for Sand Creek. Two angles are in a ratio of 3 to 2. Find the larger angle if the larger angle is 28 degrees less than twice the smaller angle. Time has been called, and the correct answer is 28 degrees.
Here's a toss-up question. Why do American national parks discourage the public from feeding the bears?
Sand Creek.
So that the bears do not become accustomed to humans, and it would not be like natural wildlife.
We'll accept that.
That's good. Okay, so you get the bonus question now.
Bonus question for Sand Creek. His signature, one of the most famous in the history of art, was a large A with a smaller D between its legs. Identify this Northern European Renaissance painter. Time has been called. Correct answer is Albrecht Dürer.
Okay, and here's our next toss-up question. This is a paper and pencil question. A chemistry student has 2 quarts of 25% acid solution and 1 quart of 40% acid solution. If he or she mixes them, what will the concentration of acid in the final mixture be?
Sand Creek.
10%.
Say again.
10%.
10% is not correct.
Onstead.
32.5%.
No, the correct answer is 30%.
Your next toss-up question. What 7-letter word describes the scientific examination of a dead body for the purpose of determining the cause? Onstead?
Autopsy.
Autopsy is correct for 10 points. And I'll also give you your bonus question. Write down these 4 Civil War events and put them in chronological order. Battle of Antietam, Richmond became the Confederate capital, Sherman's march through Georgia, and siege of Vicksburg. Time has been called. The correct order was Richmond, Antietam, Vicksburg, and Sherman's march.
All right, here's a toss-up question. They are often called native badgers because of their strength and burrowing abilities, but they are not related to the North American badgers. Instead, their nearest relative is the koala. What is this oddly named Australian marsupial?
Onstead.
Red panda.
Not red panda.
Sand Creek.
Is it the koala bear?
It is not. The correct answer is wombat.
Your next toss-up. What literary term refers to the self created by an author and through which the perceptions of the story's characters are revealed? Sand Creek.
First person.
That is incorrect. Onstead. Go ahead, Onstead.
Point of view.
That also would be incorrect. We were looking for persona.
Okay, so we have a toss-up question. It is the standard fixed point of thermometry. Water, ice, and water vapor exist in equilibrium at this point. What is the temperature of the triple point of water?
Onstead.
32 degrees Fahrenheit.
That is correct.
So we have a bonus question now for Onstead. Many of us prefer happy endings. However, some authors take their cue from Romeo and Juliet and give us unconsummated romances instead. In what novel do Lady Brett Ashley and Jake Barnes go their separate ways? Time has been called, and the correct answer is The Sun Also Rises.
All right, so here's a toss-up question. Embroiderers stretch their fabric over a round frame known as what?
Sand Creek.
A loom.
Say again.
A loom.
Loom is not correct.
Onstead.
Time is called. The correct answer is hoop.
The next toss-up. Most ancient cultures believed that spirits inhabited all things in nature. This primitive religious belief is known as what? Time has been called. The correct answer is animism.
No. You do another one.
What peninsula did Carthage surrender to Rome after their defeat in the Second Punic War? Your next toss-up. Time is called. Correct answer is Spain or Iberia.
Okay, so this toss-up question, the English equivalent of the Russian name Yuri was the first name of 3 U.S. presidents and the regal name of 6 kings of England. What is the name?
Sand Creek.
John.
John is not correct.
Onstead.
George.
George is correct.
Bonus question now for Onstead. Bach scored his Italian concerto for which solo instrument?
Violin.
Not the violin. The correct answer was harpsichord.
So here's another toss-up question. Which writer is known to have added 1,700 words to the English language, including assassinate, barefaced, dwindle, gnarled, and lonely?
Onstead.
Shakespeare.
We're going to toss the question because the buzzers were not cleared. So we'll go on to the next question, which will be the toss-up. He was the prototype for such fictional characters as Hank Martin in A Lion is in the Streets, Buzz Windrip in It Can't Happen Here, and Will Stark in All the King's Men. Name this Louisiana politician. And Sand Creek?
Andrew Jackson.
That is incorrect. Onstead?
Daniel Boone.
That also is incorrect. The correct answer is Huey Long. I believe we are at intermission time.
We are. We have a 2-minute break, and that's the first round. Let's give a hand for all of our students.
We told you these questions were going to get a lot harder, didn't we?
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
And we're ready.
Okay, and before we get started, no changes on the Sand Creek side, correct? Did we have a change over here for Onstead?
I'm Mackenzie, and I'm looking forward to cheerleading.
All right. Thank you. This is that time where there's a changing of the guard from time to time, and has happened. So we are set for the second half.
And so we have a toss-up question. What nation came into existence as a dominion of the British Commonwealth in 1947 as a result of the partition of India into 2 countries?
It's Sand Creek.
Bangladesh.
That is incorrect. Onstead?
Sri Lanka.
That also is incorrect.
The correct answer is Pakistan.
Here is your next toss-up. What historical episode of significance to Britain lasted from 55 BC to about AD 410? Time is called, and the correct answer is Roman occupation.
All right, so we'll try another toss-up question. In any given year, what's the highest possible number of lunar eclipses visible from the Earth?
Onstead.
4.
4 is not correct.
Sand Creek.
12.
12 is not correct. Correct answer is 3.
Here is your next toss-up. British ships bombarded Fort McHenry but were unable to capture the fort, although they fired over 1,500 cannonballs within only 25 hours, and some of them weighed as much as 220 pounds. Calculate the average number of cannonballs fired per minute. Sand Creek.
60.
60 is incorrect. Onstead. Go ahead, Onstead.
12.
12 is incorrect. The correct answer was 1.
And now for our next toss-up question. This is a paper and pencil question. A geologist measured the mass of a rock sample and recorded it as 51 grams. Later, it was found the accepted value of the rock's mass is 60 grams. What was the percentage deviation of the original mass?
And Onstead.
20%.
20% is not correct.
Sand Creek.
19%.
No, the correct answer is 15%.
The next toss-up. Each year, over 120,000 people attend this major sporting event, even though the principal players are only 3 years old. Name it. Sand Creek.
The Little League Finals.
That is incorrect. Onstead. Time is called. The correct answer, the Kentucky Derby.
All right, so we have a toss-up question. How does electrolysis prevent the growth of unwanted hair?
It kills
Sand
the
Creek.
roots.
Say again?
It kills the roots.
That's correct.
So bonus question for Sand Creek now. There are 2 primary ways to fight an oil well fire. The first is to pour large amounts of water on the blaze. If that doesn't work, or if not enough water is available, firefighters will attack with what?
Fire.
Say again?
Fire.
Fire is incorrect. We would have taken either explosives or dynamite.
Okay, let's try this for a toss-up question. 5 pairs of U.S. presidents shared the same last name. Which 2 were not related? Time is called. Correct answer was Andrew Johnson and Lyndon B. Johnson.
Your next toss-up. Which national park consists mainly of Araucaria oxylon arizonicum, a species of prehistoric conifer. Sand Creek.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone is incorrect. Onstead.
Yosemite.
That is also incorrect. Petrified forest is the answer.
So here's a toss-up question. Which great American novelist of the late 19th century remarked, "The story of a person's life is like the moon, a shining face toward us, another side dark and hidden"?
Onstead.
Robert Frost.
Not Robert Frost.
Sand Creek.
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain is correct.
Bonus question for Sand Creek. The species of which bird includes the Japanese, Bohemian, and cedar?
Woodpecker.
That is incorrect. Correct answer is waxwing.
Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov used dogs in his experiments, which attracted attention of psychologists. What's the title of the book which Pavlov wrote with the results of his work? Time is called. The answer, conditioned reflexes.
Another toss-up question. A potential stimulus must be above a critical intensity and duration if it is actually to stimulate a nerve fiber. What term refers to this critical intensity as well as to a traditional newlywed custom? Onstead.
Threshold.
That is correct.
So, the follow-up question. What European is usually said to have been the first to visit the site of New York City? Time is called. The answer, Verrazano.
Your next toss-up. Define and spell gallivant. Sand Creek.
Gallivant, to go off on an adventure, and Gallavant.
That is incorrect. Onstead.
Gallivant, to go on an adventure, Gallivant.
That is correct.
Name any one of the 5 published books by the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.
And this is the bonus.
Time is called. You could have chosen Strive Toward Freedom, Strength to Love, Why We Can't Wait, Where Do We Go From Here, or Chaos or Community, or The Trumpets of Conscience.
The next toss-up is a paper and pencil question.
Time is called.
We are starting our question. Write down the following information. In 1929, 12 cents of each dollar earned went for taxes. In 1950, the figure increased to 29 cents. In 1960, to 34 cents. And in 1977, to 42 cents. Now develop a mathematical model and use the model to find the part of each dollar earned in 1985 that went for taxes. And Onstead.
82 cents.
That is incorrect. Sand Creek? Go ahead, Sand Creek.
55 cents.
That also is incorrect. The correct answer is 45 cents.
And that ends our competition.
So let's see how our score works out.
Let's
Hey,
give
give
them
our
all a
teams
hand.
a big hand.
They did a great job.
Christine, you get the honors of telling everybody who hasn't seen the score pad how it all came out. Another really close competition.
Oh my gosh. Once again, we have the closest competition. We have Onstead in second place with 50 points, and the winners are Sand Creek with 60 points. Congratulations.
Big hand for both teams.